I mean, outside of Enzo and Cass, this was the big deal. Braun returning and kicking the holy hell out of Roman Reigns, so I figured it was fitting.
I think that is appropriate.
That or Joe choking out Brock.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we'll get into that too.
That Raw last night, first of all,
that felt like a go-home show.
It did. There was a lot of great stuff that happened, but some of it felt like it took forever. It was the 3 hours was really, really apparent last night. I don't know how else to put it. It just seemed like the 3 hours was just
the whole celebrity angle felt forever.
Oh, that was
a grinding hole.
As big like into the sports things, but that was really, oh my God, Lonzo Ball, VAR Ball, LaMelo Ball. That was the thing.
They dropped the ball.
That was, I hope they do more with those crazy people, but this time maybe give them a script.
They might need a script.
Listen, that was exactly what they wanted. Let's not make any bones. That was exactly what they wanted, because when you put LeVar Ball on a show, that's what he does. That's exactly what LeVar Ball does, whether it's on ESPN or WWE. He's the same way. He's a bigger character than a lot of the wrestlers are. He's got his own little gimmick there, and he's working it to make his sons famous. But before we jump right into it, I guess we should do a proper introduction. Welcome to the War Report, brought to you by TagMeDate.com. I'm your host, Vince Bear, and I hope everybody's having a nice week so far. It happened mostly from Raw, but also we have our women's TLC rematch tonight. Correct. That's tonight, right? That is not during some other damn time of the year.
No, but they're calling it a Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, they're actually going to call it the Money in the. Okay, now are they going to? Wow, so it's almost like that one is not erased from history, but it's. Oh boy.
It's fading away and becoming obsolete.
It's like the picture in Back to the Future, just slowly fading away.
Yep.
So we do have a lot of.
They'll probably use, if it's not. They'll probably use whoever pulls off the briefcase as the first woman's the flashback. Just erase Ellsworth.
Well, Benoit. Right at the end of the match, Becky's gonna go climb up, and then the DeLorean comes in, and Doc Brown knocks over the ladder, and he goes,
"Yep." And Marty Brown is your first women's.
Right, he's like, Ellsworth, it's your kids, Ellsworth. And then we got to figure out what the whole deal is with that. And then Carmella and Ellsworth get into the DeLorean and speed off. I would be more okay with that than what actually happened. So let's get right into it. The War Report is brought to you by Tagging a Date, the first and only dating site exclusively for wrestling fans. Thousands and thousands of members, all that wonderful stuff. The video promo feature, which is a first for any dating website. Big things happening in the world of Tag Me Date, big things happening in pro wrestling. So, as we go around the room, oh shit, that's right. Eric isn't here. Eric was going to be traveling. He said he might hop on via mobile device, but looks like he won't be joining tonight. So, hi Eric. Hope you're listening. Hope you have a safe trip. Don't crash into anything. Be safe, buddy. So let's throw it around the room. Does anybody have anything specific, whether it's regarding Raw or SmackDown, that you want to start things off with tonight?
I actually, before we really dive in, and I was not able to be on the show last week.
That's right.
I just want to share my opinion of Money in the Bank quickly.
Ooh.
And there were a lot of negative things about this show. And I have to be honest with you. I loved every fucking bit of that pay-per-view. Every single solitary bit. I don't necessarily love the finish with the Usos and the New Day, because that was a great match, and it was just for them to just walk out at a pay-per-view that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But let's start with Carmella. Now, my pick was Charlotte, and I still go with Charlotte as my pick for tonight. So that doesn't change. But Carmella winning did exactly what they wanted to happen. Carmella got the biggest heel pop of SmackDown Live of the entire night. She has so much fucking heat on her right now. She has Roman Reigns heat right now. Okay?
That's true.
So with them trying to get her over as a top heel, they succeeded. The fans think the show sucked because Carmella won. We're going to get the payoff in the end because they're redoing it anyway. It was a way to get the fans to be like, what the fuck? They got people talking about it. It was the #1 trending thing out of anything else on the pay-per-view. They got people talking about it. They had people messaging back and forth. This sucks. The show's going to suck now. This and that. It was fucking brilliant. And to have Ellsworth be the one to get it and drop it down to her, to me, I thought it was well done. I enjoyed it. I saw what they were going for, and it worked. So that's all I got to say about that. And mind you, the very next night on SmackDown Live was one of the best promos Carmella has ever cut in her entire career. So I think it did what it needed to do for Carmella.
She still can't wrestle.
Well, no, that's true too. But she's getting a little bit better. I mean, listen, we're not dealing with an Eva Marie situation.
No.
She is improving. She can take some bumps. I mean, listen, is she the best? No, not even close. You know, you can't put her on the same page as a Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Sasha. You can't put her there. But, listen, and quite honestly, I think Lana's more impressive, but we'll get to that. But
Lana. Oh, poor Lana.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk about Lana. But fuck it. Let's talk about Lana. So my expectations obviously were not very high because it's Lana. But I think she put on a hell of a performance.
She did good for her first pay-per-view.
For her first singles match.
Yeah, she wasn't.
She pulled out some shit.
I don't like that music at all, but people seem to like it.
No, I agree. I think the music's horrible. The little dancing in the beginning could definitely do without it. The ring gear is fantastic.
The gear is very elegant,
It's very sexy.
She does have a rematch tonight with Naomi, by the way, for the title.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to win that one either. But
I hate to see this. This is my prediction.
You think Lana's going to win?
We're going to see 2 title changes tonight. We're going to see a Money in the Bank win. We're going to see Lana get some bullshit upset win against Naomi, and then whoever has the briefcase is going to take it right off of Lana because she does not need the title either. Let's do it.
Boom. Well, there you go. Vince, I agree with you 100%. I go with that, and my pick is still Charlotte. Charlotte's leaving as champion tonight.
I would be okay with that. I mean,
yeah. I'd be quite fine with that. No, I wouldn't mind seeing Becky or...
Yeah.
So listen, real quick, just so I can... the Money in the Bank for the men. I don't truly understand why they felt the need out of everyone in that match to have Shinsuke be the one taken out. However, his big return in the end was fucking phenomenal. And I loved how the crowd was still singing his music 20 minutes after it stopped. I just got a real kick out of that. But I thought that match was off the hook. That match was phenomenal. Baron Corbin winning, I'm not happy about it, but you know what? It's another one that nobody really thought it was going to happen. So it gave you the shock value. So I don't think that ruined the match. I thought it was a great match, 100%. Would I have taken Shinsuke out? No, but they brought him back and he killed it. And I love that interaction with him and AJ because I just saw the Mania poster right there. So I thought that was great.
That's
the stare down was great. The facial expressions, everything was money. Bless you. I think, overall, I was very happy with Money in the Bank. I seem to be in the minority, even amongst this group from the messages that I saw going back and forth while I was waiting online in Disney World.
There was, I think you're probably right. We probably swayed a little more negative, but overall, listen, it's fucking $10 a month. I'm getting entertained. So what the hell?
True.
The matches were good. I'm not gonna say that. The finishes just to me, the finishes just sucked.
Absolute. Cat's got it. Cat nailed it.
But see, I don't necessarily agree. Outside of the Usos, what finishes did you guys not like? I mean, the women's was different.
My last pick for the Money in the Bank. I mean, he's not a. Again, there was no bad pick in that match, but Baron was probably my last pick, and Carmella was definitely everybody's last pick for the Money in the Bank.
Right, but that's why they did it. It's the element of surprise. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those. It finally gives you some shock value that we have not been getting.
I could see Corbin winning. I picked like a mark. I did not want Corbin to win.
Well, I don't think anybody really wanted Corbin to win. I mean, listen, I picked Shinsuke. No. Did I?
No, you picked AJ Styles. I picked not the one.
Yeah, we picked AJ.
Yeah, we were all over the place on that one. But
I would have been happier with more shock value of letting Ziggler win and being like, holy shit, they're giving Ziggler something.
Yeah, but you know what, though? Everything I'm hearing, Ziggler's on his way out.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, Baron is the guy they're settling in as another bit like a JBL style heel or like a Undertaker American Badass style heel, something like that.
Listen, and he's not bad.
He's not
he's
bad.
Really not. For a big guy, he's not bad. The gimmick's kind of weak.
He needs hair plugs or a haircut. Either he needs to.
He kind of has that Roman Reigns thing. He's kind of just him. There's nothing that defines.
You know what he needs? You know what he needs? He needs Paul Heyman.
Ooh.
He needs a mouthpiece.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
You give him to Paul Heyman, and we'll all be fucking, he'll be over. That's what you do. I mean, in my opinion, it's time for them to start spreading Heyman out a little bit. Yeah, I would be okay with him taking Joe after all this. Well, taking Joe, taking Corbin.
Does anybody feel a little bit like that time when Paul Heyman turned on Brock Lesnar?
With Big Show?
He saw the fucking dollar signs. He realized that Brock couldn't finish the job, and he made the decision. Oh,
yeah, but are they gonna replay that, or
they're gonna put the
are they gonna just keep him in whatever stable he starts to create? Because he's back and forth anyway. He's not there full time.
If Joe, win or lose, proved to Heyman and Brock that he could hang with them, then I could see that working. That would be beautiful because you could have Heyman with Joe when Brock's not there. You could kick him over to Tuesday night with Baron Corbin. He could just recruit a bunch of giant fucking guys.
And putting Paul on both shows. Yes.
Would Paul want to do both shows at his age?
My clients, the Dangerous Alliance. There we go.
I would love it. Don't get me wrong. But that's a long work schedule for someone getting up there.
He doesn't necessarily have to be live at every show, though.
No, he only needs to come out once in a while. Because I think Baron's starting to hold his own on the microphone. He just needs – I think you're right. He needs somebody to bounce shit off of and work with and just blossom. And I think the gear needs a whole revamp. I had a thought while we were talking. How about this? Did you guys see you probably saw the old Mad Max. Did you see the new Mad Max last year?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Mad Max yet. I need to do that tonight.
With the style of Mad Max.
Yeah.
I know the style, yes.
And all of that. If Baron Corbin had a Mad Max kind of living in the desert and killed things to fashion his clothes out of kind of
that would be cool.
Like a how Becky does steampunk, but then he could do or there could be bones and skeleton pieces on it. I don't know. If he came out with, you remember at the beginning of the trailer, there was that Mad Max had that mask on and he was strapped to the front of the truck.
Yeah.
If he had a mask like that when he came out, I don't know, just something to add to it. It would be bigger. I think if he just had a little bit more, the Lone Wolf thing is fine if you want to leave it as a nickname or whatever.
I think they shave his head.
He needs more. Yeah.
Just shave his head. Come out like a bad motherfucker. Just shave his head.
Yeah.
I think it would look so better.
He wouldn't even have to go. He wouldn't have to bick it all the way, I don't think, either, like Stone Cold. He's got enough in the front where he can do the Rock and do a fade thing for a while until shave it all the way. He just needs a different style, man. Everybody knows. It's like Sam Roberts. All right. Sorry, Sam
Hate that motherfucker.
But, oh, my God, Sam Roberts needs a haircut. And, I mean, he needs a lot of things, but Sam, we can start with the haircut.
He needs a swift kick in the ass.
Oh, God. As a broadcaster, as somebody who has a degree in the field and works in pro wrestling, when he goes on the pre-show, my fucking blood pressure goes up. Somehow they think he's...
It angers me that he made it to the WWE.
He's looked at as, like, a wrestling authority. How? He doesn't... Oh... I'm gonna get real Jim Cornette. I feel a Jim Cornette coming on. I'm not gonna do it.
Do it. Don't hold it back.
Do it.
Remember when Jim Cornette told the story about Vince Russo? Jim Cornette used to tell a story about Vince Russo, and they were filming Shotgun Saturday Night, and they had to go down to the ring and film the promo for in between the match. And I see the fucking thing was the matches had already been pre-taped. We just had to go out there in front of a live fucking crowd and do 30 seconds of thing and say Duke Dumpster Drosie's up next against T.L. Hopper, and fuck it, we're back on the plane to Connecticut. But anyway, Vince Russo's out there, and he comes down to me, he looks around and goes, wow, that was really cool. And I said, what, Vince? What was really cool? He said, I've never been inside the barricade while the matches were going on before. And I just looked at him and said, this guy is writing the #1 wrestling live television scripted program every goddamn week. And he's never been inside the turnbuckles before. He's never been inside the goddamn barricade. What kind of horse shit is that? Okay, I'm done. That was my favorite, one of my favorite Jim Cornette stories ever.
That was impressive.
That was fantastic.
But it's the same
Good
thing.
impression.
Like Sam Roberts has never been anywhere near a live wrestling match unless he's paid for a ticket.
I hope somebody power bombs his ass through a table.
Oh, remember Machine Gun Kelly? Kevin Owens could do it.
Yeah, well, Machine Gun Kelly fucked it up because right afterwards he got up and ran to the back. It's like, dude, wait for the commercial, you fucking retard.
Yeah.
That was the funniest. Oh my God, he popped right. He looked like he died.
Talk about no sell. What the fuck?
The actual power bomb went really well, and then he fucked it up.
Yeah, a fucking retard.
This was Jesus for a moment. He died, then came back.
He really didn't take 3 days. Yeah, he just got right. He knows. So he was.
It was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, he did the
Died for
Undertaker
3
sit-up.
seconds. He was alive.
God. Yeah. So listen, my one concern about Carmella, and they haven't taken it this far yet, and I know they're line steppers, so we'll see what happens, but I don't want it to be James Ellsworth is it's okay if they're paired together now, but I don't want it to be like she has to rely on the guy.
Yeah.
You know, like that's gonna get a little stale.
Yeah, but that's what he's there for. I mean, listen, this thing isn't going to last very long because eventually Ellsworth is going to come to terms and realize that he's never getting any.
Well,
talking
about this last week, do you think they will do Ellsworth versus Becky?
They could.
They very well could.
That'd be fun.
That'd be great, actually. I'd be okay with that.
Though at the same time, if Becky beats Ellsworth, Ellsworth is the lowest of the lowest pecking order, and if she loses to Ellsworth, she lost to the lowest of the lowest pecking order.
So,
and I don't know that they're very big on doing male versus female matches anymore. I mean, when was the last time we've seen one?
Yeah.
Who in God's name would book Becky losing to Ellsworth?
Well, it would. Who would book James Ellsworth being the first winner of the women's Money in the Bank match?
That's true.
I was just more of asking who would.
Considering Becky's less manly than most of the girls that were in the match, I kind of,
Well, yeah,
Santina's got better on him.
I think
I would.
If they made her lose, it would be a big Carmella would have to interfere or whatever. Something would have to happen. Carmella's a special guest referee. They would screw over Becky for that win.
You know what I'm saying? I was more of asking what benefit would come.
Well, here's what I think on the flip side. If she goes over, which she should.
Oh, yeah.
She should put him in the fucking disarmor and break his fucking arm like Pentagon does. And then get on the mic and go, all right, guess what? I just took your boy out. It's you and me. He's not going to be at ringside next time because he's got a broken fucking arm.
Yeah.
Boom.
Does he do the Cowboy Bob Orton and have a broken arm for 6 years?
You know what? Ellsworth could pull that off because they could put some of that Louis Vuitton gold lame shit on there. Like his sling. His sling could be all Louis V. Yeah.
His sling would be bling.
Or Burberry. Yeah. It would be a Burberry sling with bedazzles on it.
You just got major kudos for saying Louis Vuitton.
Could you see that though? It's the cloth sling instead of that blue plasticky stuff. It's all Louis V. Hey, listen, we thought we lost Cowboy Bob a couple weeks ago, but it turns out he's not dead. Everybody, not dead.
Hey, speaking of Cowboy, did anyone here choose Orton to win the title at Money in the Bank?
No.
Ooh, no.
Everyone went with Mahal, right?
Yeah.
All right, I was going to say, because anyone out there that is in pools or does that, and anyone that actually chose Orton is a fucking
public poll. Few people did pick Orton.
Is a fucking idiot. Because I'll tell you why. There were 3 standout reasons why you would never pick Orton in that situation. Hometown.
Yep.
Daddy was there.
Yeah.
Right? So on those 2 things, I think there's a third. I don't remember what it is.
It's like the checklist of what not to.
But it's like on those 2 things alone, I would never, ever in a million years say, okay, yeah, Orton's winning. Because the odds are already stacked against you in that situation. So.
Well, I mean, it was the twofer. You knew he was. I mean, it was like you said. It wasn't just that he was in his hometown. It was that his father was there, and all those legends were there.
All the legends were there.
The only thing they did.
Well, no, it was a nice RKO from running table to table.
Oh, listen.
Oh yeah.
Randy Orton. He is one of the biggest stars in wrestling right now. He really had a shot if he just. I don't know. He could have been the biggest guy because he is the best athlete in some of the best shape, can pull off some of the best moves. He's tall. He's got a good look, but there was always just something a little bland about Randy. Blandy Borton.
Actually, want to hear a joke on our public? 5 people out of 6 chose Randy Orton.
Wait, for our contest?
Yeah.
Wow.
5 out of 6.
How many?
I know.
How many people did we actually have on that?
6.
All right, well, that's a decent start.
5 out of 6 picked Orton.
Wow.
Ew.
Wow.
But that's probably going with their emotions on what they want to happen as opposed to calling what actually happened.
Right, which is why I picked Becky for every single match, because I hope that one day she hears about the streak of me picking her in every single pay-per-view pick him for 2 years straight, and then she dumped that like 6.5 foot tall UFC guy she's dating. Yeah, it's not. But
that's a long stretch, but it could happen.
But yes, I understand picking your emotions rather than picking what the booking dictates. Because, I mean, let me put it this way. We're right. Going back to the Carmella thing, nobody saw that coming. It was a blind side. So in that respect, it was brilliant. In certain respects, they have to make sure they're getting the right type of heat out of this thing. Well, so far they're doing it okay. Initially, it was a little touch and go, but last Tuesday helped, and tonight's
Yep.
gonna.
Yeah,
It's all
absolutely.
about where it goes. It's her. The finish of that match won't be a problem if the rest of the story is worth it. That's really the
It's all going to come down to the Money in the Bank match tonight.
right. Like I still have a sour taste in my mouth about anything to do with that Undertaker Brock Lesnar feud after WrestleMania, after the streak had already been decided, and then they decided to go one more time because it was like the ball shots and the referee didn't see him tap out, but he did. And I hate it was just you could see it was an excuse to get 3 more matches out of those guys before the Undertaker retired. And
Speaking of the Undertaker, since you brought him up, has anyone else been hearing rumors that he might be coming back?
Yes,
I heard that, but the one report I shared got debunked by Meltzer, who was supposedly the source of the rumor.
Well, good, but I did heard it of other places because they haven't actually said the Undertaker.
Yeah, they're being very careful with their wording of if you're retired or not.
right? Is this the last we've seen of the dead man? Or, you know, they're using very vague statements. So, I mean, listen, does he have to have that retirement where he comes out in the ring and Triple H comes out and he goes, Mark, we're all proud of you, and he gives him a watch, and then Shawn Michaels comes out and Ric Flair comes out and everybody cries and uses their real names? I think
with The Undertaker, that's not necessary. I don't think he do that.
So I feel like even if he should be a mystical, if he descended below the ring and left his jacket and shit there, let him rest. And if he needs to come back and be resurrected, he can be resurrected and then go back to sleep. That's the beauty of a dead man character. He can be resurrected and killed very easily. And he doesn't need to do anything. He can literally come out. Lightning could strike somebody and light him on fire or whatever. And he could hit like a clothesline or a choke slam and you're done. He doesn't need to do a dive anymore. He's 60 years old with a hip replacement. Please don't do dives anymore. He can do a lot of other stuff still as, The Undertaker, but not necessarily do all of the super physical stuff he used to do.
And you know what? Not for nothing, though. I mean, there was a whole lot of thing with this. I know, Steven, you had a problem with it. He closed out WrestleMania. The main event wasn't a championship match. So to have him close out WrestleMania to do the retirement and then have him come back, it's kind of like, then why was that the main event match with Roman Reigns?
Yeah, I'm big on championship matches closing the pay-per-view out. There's a very good reason. So I mean,
listen, they didn't even do it at Money in the Bank. It's Money in the Bank was the finale. It wasn't Orton. It should have been Orton.
Right.
But for Money in the Bank pay-per-view, I kind of understand why the Money in the Bank part is the close.
Yeah, the Money in the Bank or the Royal Rumble, I get that, but
I don't know. Part of me feels like there should never be an exception to the rule. I don't know. I get it in that kind of situation, but the other part of me is like,
because like Elimination Chamber is the same kind of deal. Elimination Chamber match.
But a lot of times the Elimination Chamber match, the belt's on the line.
True.
Exactly.
Or it's for a number one contender.
But I mean, I would kind of feel kind of gypped if the Royal Rumble, the last part of the Royal Rumble, was kind of a heavyweight champion. I think it should be second to last. I don't think it should be in the middle of the show.
Right.
But
yeah, I think
the heavyweight championship match, the close should be the Rumble itself.
Excuse me. And timing wise, with the Royal Rumble, it makes so much more sense to have the match before the Rumble. But I agree, the match, they should consider it the main event of the 4-match or 5-match card before the Rumble and treat it as such. And you're right, not just sticking it as like match 2, which has happened.
How should we handle the Raw and SmackDown titles going forward, though, with Mania?
Well, one is the WWE title and one's the Universal Championship. So, but didn't they go on? Wait, I'm trying to remember now, and I was there. I don't remember the match out order because it was 4 hours long. Did the Universal title go on first or second? It was Brock Goldberg.
Yeah.
That happened before or after Randy and Bray?
I don't remember.
Randy and Bray happened before Brock and Goldberg.
There we go. So welcome to Goldberger's home of the Goldberger. Can I take your order? We actually had down the street from me, like 5 minutes down the street, there's a place called Goldberger's. And when Bill Goldberg was in town doing some ESPN press, they brought Goldberg to Goldberger's to eat a Goldberger and then take a picture in front of the place.
That's awesome. So
there's a picture somewhere in the Hartford Courant of Goldberg eating a Goldberger outside of Goldberger's. That's right. So I think that's our answer is they're interchangeable now. It's just like, I mean, I hate to say we're right back to where we were with Raw, no matter which title it is, always having the more dominant title. But it almost seems like we're back that way with SmackDown kind of being the afterthought, even though SmackDown has the direct lineage WWE Championship.
As long as Vince McMahon is still the final say, it's always going to revert back to that. The way Vince McMahon looks at it is NXT is the breeding ground. They graduate to SmackDown. and then they graduate to Raw.
Right.
You know, he almost looks at it as if you get to SmackDown and never make it to Raw, then you failed.
Yep.
You know, Raw will always be his creation. That's going to always be his number one.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how Triple H handles it.
Yeah, we'll see.
And it won't be Triple H. It'll be Triple H, Stephanie, and Shane. I mean, they'll all sit down and figure out. And I think
everybody else.
I think we're in very good shape when it comes to those three sitting down and working shit out and making it, you know, the way it should be.
I have no doubt that those guys are gonna, you know, the brand is in capable hands. If you've been watching NXT or 205 or any of those secondary shows, and you see the quality of those shows and the talent that they're booking, because those are the shows that everybody's practicing on right now, waiting for their spot. The guy that was doing, was it Ryan Ward? I have a friend named Ryan Ward too. Ryan Ward was doing NXT and now he's doing SmackDown, or he was doing SmackDown, now he's doing NXT. So what you can see is there's consistency among those brands because they're all coming in from like that Full Sail. Like they work at Full Sail. They're used to that kind of arena. Then they move to SmackDown. They get used to that. And trust me, you think Vince is watching 205 live? You think he gives a shit about what's happening on that show? He definitely has somebody else in charge of that. So I mean, you can and it's a good listen. That shit is solid. The Cruiserweight Classic, the 205 stuff. I know nobody really gives a shit about them, but they're solid shows and they're produced really well. And when those people get a chance to work on things that have higher stakes, I think it's going to be a good product.
You know, it's like, and the one thing too is you got to think about what Triple H has done with NXT. You know, let's not forget that NXT is Triple H's baby, and he created some of the biggest stars that are now on the main roster. But when he lost those big names that he created to the main roster, he had to almost start again. And he was able to do it again. And now we're starting to talk about the guys that are there now that we can't wait to get called up. And it just shows that, you know, he can build them and he can replace them and he can keep it going. Triple H is just he's a master of the game. He knows what he's doing, and I think we're in very good hands. I don't worry about a thing.
Yeah,
be interesting to see the NXT bring-ups after they get control.
Yeah, who they will consider top level stars. Like, I mean, I hate to go and pick on Baron Corbin again, but is Baron Corbin a Triple H pick, or is he a Vince pick because he's 6.5 feet tall and a former NFL player?
I could see that being both. He's a Triple H guy that Triple H created, and Vince definitely is attracted to his agility and size, for sure.
Right. So you can see that there are like when you go see guys make it up to the main roster, you can automatically tell which ones are Triple H picks and which ones are Vince picks. Because I'm pretty sure. Listen, I know Vince is Irish and all that, but I think he had to be sold on Finn Balor by somebody.
Yeah.
Because
but you know what? But looking at it, but look, they're keeping Balor mid card. They have him feuding with Samson now, the concert guy. You know, I love him. I think he's great, but you know, Finn Balor shouldn't be feuding with him, and now I also heard a rumor that there will be no more Demon Balor.
No more.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how true that is, and if it's true, I'm going to be very upset because
I hope not.
That was just so fucking badass. Why would you ever decide?
How could you even know?
Guy had away.
You would pretty much neuter Balor.
The character's he's dead in the water if he doesn't have something like that. Because honestly, he's a nice guy. He's too interesting outside of that.
Well, listen, it was always that he became Demon at a pay-per-view, right?
Right.
Yep.
He was just in a pay-per-view and he did not come out as Demon.
Yeah.
So
could be the whole main roster. He didn't lose as the Demon.
Yeah, but no, he competed in NXT during he competed in NXT on the shows. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that's it. They're trying to keep the allure of the Demon alive. I don't know. Listen, Seth Rollins is still boring everybody. update. I just can't get into Seth Rollins, and I feel bad because
he's your cover guy.
He's this top guy and the main baby face and all that, but he's just not. He's just not to me. I don't know. I can't. I
wonder what it is that you just can't wrap around with him. I
like him as a heel. He's not a baby face. Nothing about him says he's the kid who, if you were playing Mario Kart for the SNES and you were winning, he would reset the SNES.
I got to be honest with you, dude. For me, he got very annoying as a heel. And I just don't find him as annoying anymore. Maybe that's just me, but
he was annoying. But I don't know. There was something about I think they botched this whole thing right from the get-go when he came back from the knee injury and stayed heel.
Yeah.
I think he would have been a little bit better because then it was one of those things where like people were like waiting, like, okay, he's going to turn babyface. And the anticipation turned into, all right, when are you going to do this? Is he finally, and then when he finally turned babyface, I don't know, just wasn't as big of a deal to me as he could have came right out after the knee injury and fucking pedigreed somebody. And I'm back, baby. I'm the architect, whatever.
He could have done it like when Edge returned and he came out face.
Yeah.
When he had his first real big shoulder injury.
Right, because here's the thing: in one-time spots like that, you can even come out as a babyface. Even if he came out as a babyface for a little while, because remember, okay, there was a point in like 2008, 2009 where they just thought when they needed something to happen, they would just put Edge in a match when he wasn't supposed to be in the match. Like there was an elimination chamber where they just all of a sudden Edge clocks Kofi. Then there was a WWE title match with Triple H, and then it was Kozlov, but then it wasn't Kozlov, I think. And then Edge came out with this really weird-looking, long, scraggly beard and a winter cap on, and people popped because it was Edge, and it was a shock. And I think he won the title. And then the next night he came back out and he shaved, and he was a heel. You know what I mean? It was like he changed overnight. The next night he came out and it was a completely different deal because he didn't come out and express any intentions. He didn't cut a promo after that. He just made his return, won the title, and then left it to mystery. So, I mean, maybe something like that would have worked. I don't know, man. He's not a bad wrestler, Seth Rollins.
No.
He doesn't have a bad look. I like his gear. I mean, the beard is fine. I don't know. He needs he's a chicken wing that needs some blue cheese dressing. So whatever the blue cheese dressing that we need to find for Seth Rollins, once we find it, I'll let you know. He just needs a little blue cheese. That's my crappy analogy of the night.
I was going to say, now you're making me hungry.
I'm sorry, there are 4 chicken drumsticks defrosting out there, and the food is on my mind. I'm trying to decide what to make.
I made fried pork chops. Y'all could have come over before the show.
Oh, geez. If you only told me like 3 hours ago.
I tell you what, you get on the ferry one night. I'll pick you up and you can eat before you broadcast, okay?
All right, there we go. So after about $40 on the ferry.
I want to be down.
And about $80 in tolls. No, we can all do that one day. We can all meet somewhere with someone's house.
Yep.
Do the podcast.
Hey, you guys are always welcome here. I mean,
we're crashing that grill that you got. There's no question about it. We're crashing that grill this summer.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm on that thing every night of the week. Come on, go.
I have a cottage on the lake that we could all.
I don't have a pool.
Ooh.
Well, apparently.
I have a slip and slide.
Ooh, the slip and
I have a full place where everybody can stay.
Oh, man. Can you imagine us drinking and having a slip and slide? Oh, man.
That sounds dangerous.
I already have a bad.
It sounds dangerous. Especially with the cliff. Oh, boy.
Oh, well, there will be dislocations.
A barbecue and a slip and slide. Oh, man. See, but then we have to live stream that for the podcast so everyone can see us falling on our asses.
Precisely. Okay, so who has the questions? The emailed questions? Because we should address those.
Okay. So we have 2 for tonight that actually responded in that were pretty good ones. We had Tiffany from South Dakota, who wanted to know what our take on the baller segment was last night, especially with the end drop.
Yeah, drop.
Yeah, well, first of all, let's just clarify that was fucking stupid.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're on live TV with tons of sponsors. You're going to drop the N-bomb on live TV. These people had no fucking business being at the show. It was a complete waste of time and a disgrace. I forget which actor it was, but I love how they bring some of them are legit wrestling fans. And then they bring some on that'll say Summerfest instead of SummerSlam. You know, and shit like that. They have no fucking clue. They have no business being there. These guys had no business being in a WWE ring, and when that guy dropped the N-bomb, somebody should have taken his ass out.
Well, that was – they went right to commercial.
No, but I mean, like, Samoa Joe should have come out and choked them out or some shit.
Oh, my God. Well,
or have Miz get some heat.
Yeah, this was – they knew something like that was going to happen. They may not like that it was the N-word, and they may not have foreseen that it was going to be the N-word. But they booked those guys wanting something to happen because they were in L.A. Lonzo just got drafted number 2 to the Lakers. They're at the Staples Center. They wanted to get that promotion because these guys on ESPN, Fox Sports, the whole sports world is talking about Lonzo. They're really talking about LeVar, the father.
Yeah.
LeVar,
but you know what? Then leave the little shithead from high school home.
Yeah, LaMelo.
Because he's the one that did it.
LaMelo is an interesting case because LaMelo, and we're going to check this tape in about 5 or 6 years, LaMelo is probably the best athlete on the bunch. And he's as a sophomore in high school, has already committed to UCLA to play basketball. But, yes, absolutely, he's got a lot to learn in terms of – now, here's the thing. He doesn't have a great role model. And so when he has a lot to learn in terms of how to speak in front of a camera, he doesn't have role models there at home to teach him the proper way to speak in front of a camera because his dad just goes out there and wiles out.
But his dad wiles out. His dad does some really crazy shit. I've seen him on ESPN. I see the bullshit that he does and everything. But, I don't see him getting fined on ESPN for calling somebody that on live TV. No. He knows how to control that part of him at least.
Yeah. This and I mean, he is 15 or 16, so
That's no excuse. I kicked the crap. I mean, Autumn went. She goes, "Mommy, what's that?" I'm like, "Don't you dare even say that!" Like,
oh, no.
She was like, "Mommy, what's that?" I'm like, "Shush!" I'm like, "Autumn, don't you even dare!" But
that's a word
she's 8.
Say in wine dance.
Yeah.
And wine and dance. But she's 8, so I get the point of, like, what does that mean? So I had to have a little sit down about it. A freaking 15, 16-year-old kid, and you said to a white guy, you fucking moron.
Right? And, like, come on, those kids. Listen, they're
it was in the ring with fucking Titus, but still, you're on live TV. What do you think?
Titus would
that could have jeopardized his chances with UCLA. That can jeopardize his chances with UCLA.
Yeah, it can hurt.
You're supposed to be these days. That could fuck him really.
There are certain conduct, codes of conduct and rules of conduct that you have to follow if you're under an agreement like that. You're right. It could come back to bite him. I hope it doesn't because he's a kid, and as long as he gets spoken to about it by somebody and taught the professional way that went on television, if he's able to.
I tell you what, though. I'll tell you one other thing. He's lucky this was during the summer, and it wasn't while he was playing during the school year, because they could have kicked him out of games during the school year for that shit too.
That's true. Somebody wanted to make a big deal out of it. Well, yeah, because especially in high school. Oh, in high school. I mean, you guys watched the Hardy Boys documentary back in the day, 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
They kicked Jeff off the wrestling team because he was wrestling for the WWF. They kicked Jeff wrestling team because he was fake wrestling on TV. So if they could do that, a school system could definitely make a case for, well, he said a racial slur on live television, millions of people, blah, 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 code of
There's people who've been kicked out of school for social media.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And that's not even like a he said, she said. It's not even like a he said, she said thing. It's fucking right there on live TV and on YouTube and for everything to be seen for the rest of your freaking life.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're just lucky they're not like, you know, Lenny and Larry Ballstein or something, and they said that, you know, they'd be everybody'd be out of a job. But you know, they're. I'm just saying they would get a lot worse if they were white. So their careers would be over if they were white.
Everything would be done.
We wouldn't even be talking about them. We would just be moving on.
The whole show would have been cut off the air. It would have been dropped right then live on TV.
Yeah, you would have just got the
all the microphones would have been turned off, everything. The lights would have been up and people would head into the parking lot.
We would have gotten
the whole
test signal.
Technical difficulties with the monkey with the broken TV. Like we're having, unfortunately, we're having. Yep. I'm glad someone picked that up.
Like that's really pretty much what Vince did. He sat back there, he heard him say it, and pulled the plug on the fucking thing because they went right to commercial.
Miz did a good job of cutting to it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. What did you think about LeVar Ball, the father, taking his shirt off and then?
It was stupid.
From the last
it was unimpressive.
The whole segment was fucking stupid. And it was a waste of time.
Did you because he started going like he was making the kung fu hands. I'm just like, oh no.
I wish Miz would have slapped him.
He thought he was the guy from the Last Dragon.
Yeah, he's shown up.
No, just
he thought he was shown up. Who's the massa?
Shown up was the best. I hope the New Day dresses like Shown Up one day.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
That would be a fantastic outfit for them, maybe for Halloween or something. But
that'd be good.
Pay-per-view. Oh, anyway.
Do you remember
by the way, so who was the name of the person that sent that question in?
Tiffany.
Well, Tiffany, thank you very much for the question.
All the way from South Dakota. Wow, that's awesome. That
Bravo.
South Dakota listens to this show. That's really cool.
And thank you for the question.
Yep, and we had another one from Connecticut. That was Brian, not to be confused with Ryan. And his question was, give me 1 second, I'll pull it up. How long do we think Jinder Mahal is going to have the title?
I'm thinking he's holding it till Mania. I'll be honest with you.
Wow. I was going to say
SummerSlam. I think he's holding it.
Mania is a stretch, but I mean, hey, if they really want to establish this guy, that's the way to do it. I just feel like they're too itchy. They've got a guy with a fucking Money in the Bank briefcase. They've got, 6 guys who could be world champion if they wanted to right now. So, I mean, who knows? So, I think he should hold it for a while. I think he should hold it to at least SummerSlam to give himself some credibility. So even when he loses the title, he's not just a jobber again, because that wouldn't make any sense.
Very true.
Can you imagine? That would be such a huge job.
Yeah, the longer he holds the title, the better it makes him look for the future. And the longer he holds the title, the more it means when whoever finally takes it. So I think
I absolutely despise him being the champion, but I will say he is getting better week by week. I will give him that much.
Yeah, man, they're giving him the spotlight, and he's taken to it. Like, I agree. Maybe they shouldn't have just given him the belt and then saw what happened. Maybe they should have given him the superstar stuff with like an IC title or a US title and but still treated him like a big deal. I don't know. But listen, I like the guy. I like where it's going. There's 2 little Bollywood boys, the Singh brothers. Those guys are awesome.
The entrance music is I love it.
The whole entrance.
I do like the entrance.
I love the carpet.
Yeah. So cool.
I just think they could have had a better ascent to the world title instead of how they did it.
It was very abrupt. It was like, oh, Jinder got shoulder tackled by Rob Gronkowski, and now he's the #1 contender. Somehow is that a thing? Was that in the rule book?
He bestowed his football powers to him.
What if Jinder? This should be the story. Jinder went backstage to Vince and claimed that Rob Gronkowski used his white privilege to push him out of the ring, and so he deserved a title shot.
Oh my God!
For reparation. Oh my God!
Cringed a little.
I'm happy for Jinder because he could have stunk, or he could have just.
He could have fallen on his face.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
But he didn't. Good on him.
Yeah, because there are guys that they've done this with, and they just kind of give you a title, or they give you a King of the Ring, or they give you a whatever, and it just doesn't work. Like they just decided.
The one Billy Gunn.
The one Billy Gunn. Thank you. Oh my God, that is absolutely the best example. I was going to say Curtis Axel, but also
a really good example.
Curtis Axel, Tiffany, to go back to Tiffany's question, went on a radio station or a television station in Minnesota today and said that he did not like the LeVar Ball segment at all, and didn't believe that those three should be out there.
Who didn't?
McGillicuddy, Curtis Axel.
Oh, he's right. He's absolutely right.
So, I mean, I handled it pretty well, but I mean, it was just interesting to see somebody who's actually employed with the company speak out.
Yeah, well, that may derail his push again.
Now, I know we had a question that I think you answered by email, but I think I also know the person who sent it. You had a question from Brandon about Maven?
Yes, correct. Well, Brandon was asking, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know which Brandon this is. Hi, Brandon. And yes, absolutely, Maven, who he met at the Collectors, either the convention or the stadium, or both probably, because Brandon was at both. Maven's our guy. Maven is he is a promoter of Tag Me a Date. So if you see us at a show, you'll probably see him. And the good news is we are planning on getting him back on here. With a guy like Maven, you don't want to over ask things. And also, you just don't – if Maven came every week, it wouldn't be as special. I feel like him coming in every few months is great to update what he's doing in his life and, his journey. And also talk about, what you guys are doing with Tag Me a Date. Because by the time we get him on, you guys will have worked several shows together and kind of gotten him back into the swing of the indies here. And, well, damn it, Brandon, my intention is clear, and Maven may not know this, but I want to see Maven in 2017. That's my goal. So, and hopefully he comes to the ring wearing a fucking Tag Me a Date shirt for his 2017 in-ring return. And he might disagree, and he says his shoulder hurts and his this hurts and his ass hurts and all that. One match. Come on. One. That's all I'm saying.
I bet you one more match.
Got Autumn to ask him, he'd do it.
Because if Autumn asked, she would ask every day for a year straight, and he would have to say yes. He'd have to change his phone number. But yeah,
she sent him the report card and go, my reward is you promised you'd come see me this summer.
There you go. Well, and also, yeah, so congratulations, Autumn. She got most spirited student in her class.
Most spirited child in the class, yep, and she got all A's and B's.
Hey.
That's awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah, so
very proud of you.
So Brandon, to speak to your
Yep, she got one. Yeah.
That's she got what, how many what were you saying?
She got all A's and B's and 1 C+ in math, but honestly, Common Core math is such a fucking joke. To me, that was
Common Core math, that doesn't even count. It's not real math. Well,
exactly.
Fake news, fake grades.
She'll learn real math in college, I hope, or high school.
Yeah, so the equation. So if you do Common Core, a C+ probably equals an A by our standards. So
I don't it makes me sound old at 30, but I don't get it. But yeah, that's our relationship with Maven, man. He talked to us in the off season, in the down times, and we'll follow up with text messages and see how we're doing and check in, and work the conventions, work the autograph signings, and he'll definitely be back on because we're not done with him. we've talked about his wrestling career. We've talked about his reality television stuff. We've talked about kind of how he got to where he is now. And now we can just have him on and he can talk about whatever he wants. We got all the big questions out of the way.
He can just come on and tell story after story. And I mean, I'll tell you, there's some stories he may not divulge on the air, but
right.
In the time that I've spent with Maven, he's told me some stories that are just unbelievable. But and they're all good. And in fact, one I can share with you guys after we get off the air.
But, yay!
But yeah, no, Maven's the man. He's a good dude.
Oh, so have you guys ran into the Nasty Boys recently? Since we're talking about autograph signings, I just don't know if Stacy's run into the Nasty Boys recently.
Thank you for that. And no, not at this time. There was a show that we were looking into where right away Stacy goes, "Oh, look, the Nasty Boys are going to be there."
You're like, "Oh, okay, I guess we're not doing that one."
Oh no, I think it's great. I think it's hilarious.
We left the house on fire that day. Darn.
Yeah. It would be great. I would be so interested just to see any kind of interview where Stacy asks the Nasty Boys wrestling questions to see if they could even focus for more than half a second to put together a sentence for an answer.
Well, Knobs probably could. It's all Segs. Segs is the one that the cops will feel.
It's Segs? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I love that term. I'm sorry.
Like, you know you got to fight him, right? That's the old school rules.
Dude, I'll be honest. I think it's hilarious. It doesn't bother me. I told them, I said, listen, I said, you can grab my wife's ass all you want. I said, just make sure you guys take her to Pity City.
Oh, man, I'd kill you. I'd kill you.
Like, if he made a little divorce noise while he did it.
She said the same thing.
We need to have a reuniting of the Nasty Boys and Stacy, the tag team.
Oh, it's just a matter of time. It'll happen.
Oh,
and have that song reunited at last.
Because here's the thing. They remembered her. If I'm remembering correctly, Eric brought it up like months later in North Carolina, and they remembered Stacy.
I remember Eric saying that.
But you know what? We've been getting that a lot, too. Like, oh, yeah, dude. Fucking Insanity. He always remembers Stacy. And, oh, yeah, there's tons. Lawler's starting to remember. The Hardys remember both of us, but, I mean, we've done so many shows with them. Yeah. But, yeah, Alberto remembers my wife.
Alberto, I like Alberto.
Alberto's a great guy.
I need to just not so a little. Alberto might show up to your shows a little late. He might be a little unpredictable. After the match, he might get on the microphone and yell the word "fuck" in front of a family audience, and he might completely derail the show by going over to a table and signing autographs, kind of unannounced. However, he is a fucking spark plug. He comes out, he wrestles his ass off, he's happy to be there, he puts on a show. Some guys can go out there and if you're an ex-WWE guy, you can go out there half-ass it, hit a couple of your spots, and everybody claps. He wrestles a match. Paige is a lovely girl. Alberto's a nice guy. Whatever troubles they supposedly have in a locker room, it honestly has to be at a higher level than whatever pay grade I'm at. It has to probably be at the promoter level, because I've never nobody in the locker room really seems to ever have a problem with him. Everybody's usually pretty happy to see him. He comes into work, so it's not like you're there and you're going to have a shitty match. So Alberto's still okay in my book, and I know he's kind of got a bad rap recently, but you know what? The guy's living his life. He's
not for nothing though. Dropping the F word, dropping the fuck out of a house family show is a lot better than dropping the N word.
It is. It
True.
is.
Listen, he's always been mad cool with us. I mean, I've spent hours with him at shows and stuff like that, and I got to meet Paige, and they're just awesome. So listen, I don't know. They've always been cool to me, so I can't speak for anything else.
I'm hoping that rumor that they broke up this weekend is untrue. I really am.
Well, there were a lot of rumors saying that they broke up, and then Paige apparently tweeted not true or something like that. So
I saw a bunch of tweets that were supposedly the fight, and it just seemed like fake screen caps.
Yeah, I'm friends with somebody on Facebook who is like personal friends with the Knight family, and as soon as he saw that thing, he posted, he's like, listen, this is a bullshit story, don't read into it, they're fine.
Well, good.
Okay, so as soon as when I saw that guy's kind of for the Paige Alberto stuff, he's usually really on point, so if I ever see him say something about them definitively breaking up, I'll know it's for real. He's just got the inside track because I think he lives in England. I think he's like family friends with him. He posts about wrestling all the time. I can send you his name in the chat. I don't want to blow him up over a podcast, but I mean he's always talking about wrestling. He's a good source. He's a solid guy. So no, anything with Alberto and Paige right now. Listen, when you see her come out, she's so happy to see him. They're in love. Leave him alone. Listen, Paige is gorgeous, and I know that maybe the pale thing is not everybody's forte. But she is an attractive girl. She's a young girl. I get it. You you want her to not be in a relationship with a 35-year-old guy who was already married and has 2 kids. But
I don't care about that.
Hey, you know what? But
that doesn't bother me.
All about you.
Like some fans have this creepy like jealousy thing, like she shouldn't be dating Alberto. She should be, it's like leave her alone. She's doing her thing. When you see 2 people that are happy, you know they're happy. As far as
I just was hoping that
together they look happy.
Her whole relationship with Del Rio wouldn't kill her dream of wrestling in the WWE.
Yeah, well, everything I'm hearing is that she's on her way back. So, and apparently she's been tweeting too. She's been sending tweets out too that are kind of referencing, that it's happening, like comeback tour or some shit like that. So it's just a matter of time. I think they're just waiting to fit her in.
Oh man,
I can't see Del Rey giving her a hard time about her contract or being in the wrestling business if that's really one.
It would be more the WWE hassling them, not Alberto hassling her.
And not only that,
but I'm saying it's going to affect their relationship. Is what I mean. I don't see.
But it possibly could, because now for the longest time they've been used to Paige traveling with him to all the indies and Impact and all that stuff. That won't be able to happen now when she's back full time and she's doing, all WWE stuff. They're not going to see each other nearly as much. That could potentially
put a strain on the relationship, and that strain cause other strains, and those strains might break.
Depends if they put her on Raw or SmackDown, though.
Right.
But I wish them all the best. I hope it works out for them. I think they're awesome.
Yeah, man.
And,
it's
nothing but anything good from them.
It's rare. It's very rare that there's a relationship that lasts in the wrestling business. Even Macho and Elizabeth didn't last. DDP and Kimberly didn't last. Hulk and Linda didn't last.
She's a bitch.
I think Vince and Linda are the only 2. Vince and Linda and Steph and Triple H are the only 2 so far that really made it out all the way through.
So far,
without any major. No, I think Ricky Steamboat. No, Ricky Steamboat's been married for 30 years. Good on him. Kevin Nash, I think. But a lot of them, separated and divorced.
Got the Money in the Bank opening SmackDown.
It's opening SmackDown? Oh, shit. Okay.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, well, I'm going to turn my Xbox/television on. This has been the War Report, brought to you by TagMeADate.com, the first and only dating site exclusively for wrestling fans. Sign up now and join a roster of over 20,000 superstars and divas. Find yourself a tag team partner. Find yourself a 3-way dancer, Royal Rumble, you do you. We have video promos, a first for any dating site, so you have a chance to upload a short video clip to introduce your gimmick, put over your personality, whatever you want to do. You can also put up a photo, profile photos. You can fill out a full profile about who your favorite wrestlers and pay-per-views are. all that fun stuff. And then you can search our database and see by zip code, by area, by favorite wrestler, by favorite pay-per-view, by favorite tag team, favorite manager, whatever you want. You can sort it all out and find somebody in your area that loves pro wrestling just as much as you do. So tagmedate.com is your one-stop for dating if you are a professional wrestling fan. And we are live with the War Report every Tuesday evening on the Eastern Time. So if you are in anywhere else, please adjust your time zone to reflect that. But if you go to youtube.com at 7 p.m. on the Eastern dial, you type in Tag Me a Date, all one word, Tag Me a Date, no spaces. You'll bring up the Tag Me a Date channel. If you'd like, you can subscribe by clicking the subscribe button. If you want to click the bell, the bell will alert you via your mobile device, etc., that we are going live. Or if you just subscribe, you'll have it will show up in your subscriptions after the show is recorded. You can go to the Tag Me Day channel to see our archive of past shows, and again, the schedule of future shows, which are 7 p.m. on the Eastern dial. And we will see you next time. I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about because Women's Money in the Bank is coming up in just a few minutes, and we will see you next time. On behalf of everybody from the War Report, I'm your host, Vince Barry. Visit tagmedate.com, and we will see you next week.